Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our discussion on From Hustle to Structure, Building Systems That Scale. My name is Olamiji Akeredolu, and I am honored to be your host tonight. I am also excited to have Mr. Adeniro Bamishaye joining us tonight to share his expertise. Okay, so we're going to explore how to transform our businesses from chaotic startups to scalable and efficient operations. Okay, and now it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Adeniro Bamishaye, who has extensive experience in helping businesses scale. Mr. Adeniro Bamishaye is a storyteller, is a strategic communicator, and an advocate for leadership and personal development. With expertise in digital communication, content management, and public relations, he crafts narratives that inspire action and drive meaningful change. He I apologize. My network is doing the most right now. Okay, so Adeniran Bamishaye is a storyteller, a strategic communicator, and an advocate for leadership and personal development. With expertise in digital communication, content management, and public relations, he crafts narratives that inspire action and drive meaningful change. He is the author of It's Your Time, Make It Count, a book that challenges readers to maximize their time for growth and success. His other works, including Reflections, Who Are Your Friends, and Do You Really Care, explore themes of self-improvement, relationships, and social responsibility. Mr. Adeniro Bamishaye holds a bachelor's degree in linguistics from the University of Ilorin and a master's degree in communication and language arts from the University of Ibadan. He is a trained coach in personal effectiveness, finance, and business. He is also a certified project manager. Committed to excellence and transformation, he continues to shape conversations that inspire leadership, growth, and lasting impact. He is married to Olori Tobiloba, a travel and tourism consultant. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Adeniran Bamishaye. Sir, you're welcome. I hope you can hear me. You're welcome, sir. Let me
Yes,
start sharing this.
I can hear you. I hope you guys can hear me too. Good
Yes, we
evening,
can.
everybody.
Good evening, sir.
I don't think I need to show my face because I'm shy.
That's all
Good
right.
evening, everybody. If
Good
you
evening.
can hear me, please just type 111 in the chat box. If you can hear me, just type 111. Okay, thank you, Gabriel, Victor Agu, Olamiji, thank you, Anoluwapo, Yemi, thank you, Omolara's iPhone, thank you. Jacqueline, thank you so much. Okay, I think we're in a good place to start. Good evening, everybody. I hope our day has been worth the effort. So briefly, I'll be sharing my screen, so I will not need to show my face, at least in the time being, just manage the picture on the graphics. So I pray I'm able to do justice to this topic. I also find it interesting myself, and I hope at the end of the day we would have learned one thing or the other. So the next thing, if you can see my screen, what I'm sharing, just punch 222. Okay. Let's make so from hustle to structure. When I got this invite, one of the things I asked myself was, what am I going to talk about that I would not be an hypocrite? I would also not be speaking from the other side of the mouth. And this topic, with the help of I was able to come up with this. And really, it's one of the things that I've been clamoring for and encouraging people around me to do. And really, don't mind the English. It's something very simple. It's something that we all can relate with, I believe. It's something we already have been doing, but we just need to be more deliberate about it. We just need to be more deliberate about it. So from hustle to structure, if you ask an average person, they'll say, we dey hustle, we dey hustle. Really, everybody is hustling. But what differentiates, even Dangote is hustling, but what differentiates Dangote and somebody else who is just doing hustle at the end of the day is how much structure they have been able to put in place and follow with every ounce of discipline. So tonight, I will just share from the few things I've learned over the years being an entrepreneur. And sometimes when I take a reflective journey back, I ask myself, how have I been able to manage that? The period of my life that I've spent working for somebody or earning salary is just roughly 3 years. And I've done a number of decades, on earth. And I've completed my first degree for over a decade, going to about 2 decades now. Then, you know, but the question is, how have I survived it? And really, is this hustling thing, and as much as possible, trying to put structure into the hustle so that one is able to build something that is sustainable and something that can scale. So tonight I'll be sharing with us from the little experience I've had. Also, I'll be drawing example from things I believe we can relate with as we move on tonight. So please join me on this journey. So, like they say, the hustle is real. We say these days that if gone are those days when they encourage somebody to embrace multiple sources of income. It is no longer a suggestion. It is, as a matter of fact, mandatory. Like somebody will illustrate that a table or a chair has three or has four legs for it to be able to stand. And the person will go further to say that for you to stand and stand well financially, you must have at least four sources of income. You must have four streams of income. And that is the minimum. And really, if you look at it these days, cost of living is on the high side, you know, uh, to even cost of transportation, cost of electricity, everybody has been mandatorily moved to band A, and people are paying from what they don't even have. Not to talk of transportation, not to talk of cost of the food we even buy, you know. And these are some of the things, these are the bitter realities, these are the harsh realities that we have to do, that we have to deal with on a daily basis. So the question is, what is your hustle and how do you intend to make this hustle something that can stand the test of time? Because the reason why many people jump from one space to another is really because they have not been able to put structure in place. An average market woman you meet in Balogun, or an average market person you meet in Balogun, you'll be amazed to realize that many of them have children abroad. Many of them have been in that business for decades. And the question is, what are they doing right? What are they doing right? So the hustle is real, wearing all the hats, juggling everything. Sounds familiar to us, I want to believe. I just gave an illustration, somebody who is doing one thing and you introduce another thing to them, they embrace it. But the thing is, it's not at the end of the day about having four or more streams of income, but it's about how much structure you put in place at the end of the day. It is not about how how good or how skilled you are in convincing people. It's not about just being an entrepreneur, but it is about putting the structure in place so that what you are building will stand the test of time. Dangote PLC has been in existence for decades, but the question is, what are they doing? What what are they doing? What have they gotten right? What have they gotten right? It is a matter of structure. It is a structure they have put in place. So for us as entrepreneurs, that either the economy has forced to be one, or people who deliberately went into entrepreneurship, the earlier we put this structure in place, the better for us. So why can't you take the hustle all the way? Why can't you take the hustle all the way? Number one is the reason you may not be able to take the hustle all the way is because, or I beg your pardon, why hustle can't take you all the way. Sorry for that. Why your hustle can't take you all the way. Ask a Dangote if he had stuck to hustling, if he had not put structure in place. Perhaps today would have burnt out. Perhaps today would no longer be in existence. Perhaps today he would not have been able to scale. But today you have Dangote cement, you have Dangote sugar, you have Dangote refinery, you have, different arms. You have Dangote flour, you have different arms of Dangote, all under Dangote PLC. And the guy is still looking at opening other arms. Why? Because he has been able to put structure in place. So one of the reasons why we cannot keep hustling for the rest of our life is because it will burn us out. The energy you have today, you cannot continue to have it. It gets to a stage where the energy begins to wane, when the energy begins to deplete, when age begins to tell, when time, when health begins to place demand, when the body begins to place demand. And at the end of the day, you will not, because by the time your clientele increases, by the time your client base increases, you'll find out that the hustling is not the way to it. The hustling cannot make ends meet. And to scale up becomes very, very difficult, if not totally impossible. So tonight, I just want us to follow closely as I continue on this journey. And why are we talking about structure? I like this acronym that says together each achieves more. When we come together, it makes things easy. When efforts are put together, when the right block is put in the right place, it makes building very, very easy. When you have a pillar, you'll be able to have a structure. When when the foundation is well laid, that is what will determine the kind of structure that you'll be able to put on it. And these are some of the things that are also applicable in our businesses. Structures create freedom. Why do you need to put structure in place? Number one, it creates freedom. It gives you more time to be able to do other things that you want to do. It gives you that freedom to be able to think. Earlier today I was in discussion with a friend, and one of our clients was the focus of our discussion, and because she's an HR person, and she mentioned the fact that that person, who happens to be an engineer but has fleets of business, forgot that somebody was owing him money, and it's quite a huge sum, over 200 million, and the person paid some part of it. And it was then he remembered that, I'd even forgotten that this person is owing me money. And quickly I threw it to her that, please tell this person that he needs a PA. He needs a PA, and if he doesn't mind, I'm ready to be one, because I like busy people like that. I can help them out. I can add value to them. So one of the things then that discussion went far, to the extent that if you have a driver as somebody, yes, the driver would need to be paid. But one of the things that does to you, or if you have a PA, is it relieves you of a lot of burden. It also creates more time for you. You understand? It also creates more time for you. So that is one of the things that structure will do for us as an entrepreneur or as entrepreneurs. It also brings clarity. It will help you to be able to think deeper. It will help you to be able to think more and come up with creative ideas that will help scale up your business. It also increases efficiency and growth. Just look at that picture that you have. Take it as a structure. You have the CEO at the top, you have the directors, you have the admins, you have people who occupy different positions, those who are in the marketing, you know, like that, like that, like that. And it helps to create growth. It helps to create growth. Earlier today, I saw, just before I stepped out, what's his name now? This estate guru, Dr. Akintayo, who was explaining the fact that one of the things that his company has been able to do over the years is building capacity of their workers. And this is one of the things that structure will help us do. It will help us, apart from building the capacity of your staff, it will also help you as a person to build capacity because people are looking up to you, people are relying on you. Now, I was telling somebody recently that, see, one of the reasons why you need to build structure is because your business is growing on the outside. It's going on the outside and people are beginning to notice. But when they come to you to come and teach them how you have been able to succeed, if you don't have a document or a template in place that you can present to them, it makes it look as if you are a lucky person. It makes it look as if you are somebody who just stumbled on success. Yes, and that is the reality. So system and processes. System and processes. Systems are the overall frameworks. They are the overall frameworks or structure that help a company operate, while processes are the specifics, sequential steps or actions taken to achieve a particular outcome within those systems. Now, let me explain this. Now, you have something that, let's take, for example, the vehicle, or you have a car. In a car, there are different systems. You have the brain, you have the, I said you have the brake system, you have the mechanical system, you have the electrical system. All of these things come together for you to be able to drive a car from point A to point B. You have to first turn on the ignition. That ignition is made effective because of the electrical system. It gives signal to the mechanical system, and from there you are able to. There's the gear system. You are able to change the gear, and the car moves. That process of igniting, changing gear, and stepping on the accelerator is the process of driving, but it is largely dependent on the different systems, which are compartments. You understand? So these are some of the things that we also need to put in place for our businesses. There is the admin, there is the marketing, there is the brain box also. People that you call them the directors, that you tap their brains. You ask, those are the people that help you generate ideas. When, for example, you want to have meetings on how to scale up the business or how to come up with things that will help the business to move to the next level. Now, for your business, you are looking at the accounting system, you are looking at the marketing system, you are looking at the distribution system. You are looking at, if you are into production, for example, you are looking at the production system. You are looking, if, for example, you are into logistics, you are looking at the various system. Number one, there's also marketing, for example, for logistics. There is transport. There is human relation. You have your client, you have your staff. All of those things are very, very important. Then it is also very important for you, apart from the accounting system, monitoring sales, for doing feedbacks and know what works. For example, how were you able to make a particular sales? What were the things you did? Those are some of the things for those of us who are just starting up, for example, that you kind of document, that will help you come up with systems. When you are building your system or your structure, that you help you, okay, this is where this belongs to, this is where this belongs to. You need to create SOPs to standardize tasks. When you are giving a particular, let's say you are giving your receptionist, who is the first point of call, assignment to do, what are the deliverables? What are the things you are asking? Why are you even employing that person in the first place? Your accounting system, how are you monitoring sales? Those are questions that we need to ask ourselves. Systems, again, and process. Number, you need to pay attention to how you get things done. Now, take, for example, look at this. You have business system, you have inputs. What are the inputs? You have, and it really, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. Whatever you put into the business, be it your capacity, be it your person, be it your attitude, be it your area of strength, all of those things are what eventually turn out to be process. Those are the things that eventually turn out to be the process. How did you get that thing done? How did you get it done? People, for example, who have invented something, one of the things they did was to document those things that worked and those things that did not work. And they were able to come up with frameworks that people are now building on. I also mentioned, I forgot to mention the other time, one of the things that we cannot afford to neglect when we are talking about structure is the legal part, you know, because a lot of people are entering into agreements that have put them in troubles. So there has to be either you get a lawyer friend that will not charge you, or you get a legal consultant that you'll be running to from time to time. Maybe you place them on salary, or per consultation, you have an amount you are setting aside, or you have an honorarium that you are giving to appreciate that person, to avoid, or in case you have legal issues. Because once you are a business person, once you are an entrepreneur, you must be prepared. Anything can happen. Somebody could go, for example, to the police station to report you that they signed an agreement with you, or they had an agreement with you to deliver something you did not deliver, and they can lie, for example. You need somebody who can be that for you. You need somebody to operate in that capacity for you. So one of the things we need to also look about, or to talk about, is people and delegation. When you are hiring, what is the essence of it? Are you just hiring to show that you are an employer of labor, or you are hiring for growth? Are you hiring for growth? Are you hiring to help yourself build capacity? As a matter of fact, the person you are hiring, is the person having, or does the person know or have an edge that you do not have? What is the person bringing on the table? What is the person adding in terms of value? What kind of value is the person adding? That is a question that we need to ask ourselves as entrepreneurs. These days, a lot of people just employ for employee's sake. Even during the recruitment process, they don't pay attention to details. They are not looking at the job description and seeing if the person they are trying to employ has the capacity to fill into that space. And even after employing, you could discover that, oh, this person I've hired, he or she has this skill that could function better in this area. Why not reshuffle and put this person here? For example, if the person you hired is you hired somebody as an admin, but you discovered along the line that the person you hired for admin is performing better in terms of marketing and sales than the person you originally hired for sales, nothing stops you from tweaking or from reshuffling and bringing that person who is in admin to marketing and person in marketing to admin. Peradventure, but probably before you do that, you could have, okay, try to train the person. Because one of the things that a lot of employers are also guilty of is that they do not train. And one of the reasons that I found out over the years is that they are afraid of losing those staff or the people they have trained, you know. And really, we have to understand that that is part of business. That is one of the risks that we have to take as entrepreneurs. That is one of the risks we have to take. You have to train people. You have to scatter your seeds till you get that person that will be able to give you that trust. Yes, It may not be the first staff you are hiring. It may not even be the 10th person. You may be hiring, firing, hiring, firing until you get that person. Also, thirdly, we must learn to delegate with trust. Delegate with trust. Yes, it takes time to build trust. It takes time to build trust. While you are delegating, you must also be tracking. Don't delegate and leave that person. Give time. Let there be durations. Let there be let the task be timed so that okay, you are monitoring, okay, how far have you done? What do we have left to do? You need all of those things to be able to track progress, to be able to track progress. It's very, 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 very important. Very, very important. Then you must, along the line, be looking at performance. Like I mentioned earlier, you hire somebody in admin and the person is doing well in terms of bringing sales, marketing, and you also realize that the person is very, very detailed. They are very detailed in putting figures in place, in recording sales. That should speak something to you. That should speak something to you and help you know where to properly position that person. Setting KPIs is very important. Setting KPIs is very important. Then weekly review. From time to time, you need to review. Know the things that work. Know the things that are not working. Know the things that you need, to adjust. If something is not working, be humble enough to jettison it. Be humble enough to put it aside, even if you are the one that came up with the idea. If your staff brings an idea to the table and that idea looks like it will work, or even if you are not sure if it will work, you could try it out. You could try it out. I saw an interview of Tony Enumelu sometime ago, and he said one of the things that he does, that is not as if he's the smartest person in UBA, but one of the things he has been able to do over time is to employ people who are smarter than him and develop capacity to manage them. So one of the problems or one of the challenges I've found out with CEOs in quotes or owners of business is that ego. Many CEOs or business owners are very egocentric. They find it difficult to absorb or to listen to the ideas of their staff and be able to look at how can they infuse this, how can they adopt this and adapt it into whatever it is that they are doing. You could adopt and tweak it to fit into your own kind of business. You can see from somebody else who is doing something that is working and you adopt. Probably this example might not be too far. I some time ago had this partnership with the federal government for the enrollment of what's it called, national identity number. And along the line, I was the only one who was doing the enrollment in that community. I started we're actually okay, doing fine, and we're like, cool. But along the line, few people were coming up, I was like, what is happening? Some came, they went back, but because we were delivering, we remained in business, for a good number of time. But along the line, somebody came, not too far. As a matter of fact, like a stone throw, it was less than a minute's walk from my office, just like adjacent my office space. And it started. And I was contemplating at some point, do we do price war? Do I do things that will chase this person out of business? But I said no. And I, instead of that, sought for collaboration. And you know what? Today, because of the inconsistency in government policy, I am no longer directly doing that enrollment anymore. But I am collaborating with that person, and people who have patronized my center before, whenever they come, I could easily refer them to that person who at some point was like a competitor. But today we are collaborators. Today we are collaborators and we are working together. So as entrepreneurs or as business owners, these are some of the things that we need to look at. How can you collaborate? How can you work together with others? You know, like I said earlier, together each achieves more. These things are very, very important. They are very, very important. And these are some of the things that will help you look at your transition, because there are some business that are for a season. There are some business that are for short terms. There are businesses that are long term. There are some that you do for as long as you live, or as long as you have the capacity to. But it is not every business. Each you have to be able, you need to look at it and ask yourself, how long can this business last? Is this a business I can do till I'm 60? Is this a business I can do till I'm so? Or if I get to this age, how do I scale up? How do I sustain this business? And that is why you have to take a step-by-step analysis. In one of my books that was mentioned earlier, I did a brief discussion on this SWOT analysis, which is simply your SWOT means your strengths, your weakness, opportunities, and threats. You have to be able to look at your business side by side with this. What are the strengths that your business has? What are the weaknesses? What are the opportunities you are seeing? And what are the threats? All of these things are very, very important. They are very, very important as you look at how to transit from being an hustler to being somebody who has set up a system that is working. You need to also do a time-to-time audit. Audit your finance. See, don't wait till you start making hundreds of millions. Don't wait. Perhaps you have already started making hundreds of millions. Don't wait till you start making billions before you structure your business, before you have an auditor. Now, if you don't have the capacity to hire one on a full time yet, you can have one on a part-time basis. That saves you, maybe saves costs, especially if you have somebody within yourself who is good at accounting. You just give them a tip or something, or you take them out, you find a way to exchange value or collaborate with them. If, for example, your business is what they can also patronize, you could work out giving discount or something like that. So auditing is very important. Auditing is very, very important. Then you must prioritize. Prioritize. Know where and what to focus your energy. Don't say because you like something and say, by force, this thing must work. We die here. No. For business, a business person is loyal to profit. And that's just it. A business person is loyal to their profit because they are not. See, I once interviewed somebody some years ago. Person happens to be an artist. And while we got talking, I asked that, what keeps you going as a person, as an artist, and looking at your schedule? And she said, passion. I looked at her and I smiled. I said, passion, are you sure? She smiled back and said that sometimes she does not feel like going on. But when she sees a credit alert of 5 million for a portrait, or she sees a 20 million credit alert, that the energy comes. That is prioritizing. It is prioritizing. You have to know what pays you more and focus your energy on it while you also build others. That is very, very important. Then you must build the capacity of your people, build your structure. And in building, you must also be looking at, because COVID has taught us a huge lesson, you must be looking at diversifying. In building, you must be looking at diversifying. Now, if your business is doing well, nothing stops you, for example, for plugging into another business under your same business. Let's say, for example, you are into sales. Maybe you sell fabrics, or you will run a boutique. From your profits, you can, be putting aside some amount of money that you could commit into maybe an agro-allied business, or maybe buy, maybe invest in stock or something, or maybe invest in real estate, you know. Or yeah, I mentioned agro allied earlier. You could partner with somebody that you can trust and say, okay, I'm putting this into your business again. Let there be agreement. Let there be a legal uh, agreement. This is what I'm putting in. This is what you'll be remitting on a monthly or a quarterly basis. Those things are very, very important. Then I mentioned delegation earlier, and from time to time review, time to time review is very important. Now, if you don't have a vision or a mission statement for your business this far, I beg you, put down one, do one, come up with one, and just draft something, craft something. You can refine it with time. You can refine it with time. Come up with a vision and a mission statement. Also have a strategic plan in place for your business. Now, I mentioned COVID earlier. For those who are in the hospitality business, and even some of those who are even the entertainment business, was struck when COVID hit. They were really struck. But do you know it was then that streaming scaled up? It was then that people started embracing YouTube, uploading, doing live on Instagram, streaming on YouTube and all. And look at what is happening today. Guys are cashing out from YouTube. They are cashing out from all of these platforms. That is why we must prioritize. You must review, know what works, see how you can tweak. Then, what are your goals metrics? Your goals metrics. What are the things that if you achieve, you would have said yes. Also, remember to make the goal smart. Let it be simple, let it be measurable, let it be attainable, let it be realistic, and let it be time bound. So recently I saw, I think it was a press release and a video of Tara Feladrotoye, who was uh, literally handing over the running of the house of Tara to another person. And I sat down, I thought about it for a moment. This would only have happened because she built structure. Picture your business in the next 20, 30, 40 years. Where do you see your business? Do you still see yourself running it? Or you see yourself sitting down somewhere and just, okay, after every quarter or after every month, something drops into your account as the founders benefit and the business is still running. And people will say, this business was built by this person. I respect this man so much. At Tedo Peterside, the founder of Stanbic IBTC Bank. It also came to light that, okay, it was during EndSARS, I think, that it became because of many of the things he said. But today, Stanbic IBTC is one of the banks I use Stanbic. This is a free advert for them. But I kind of enjoy their service. There's this other bank, because the comment is not too positive, that I opened while I was in school, and they succeeded in recruiting a lot of young people. Then we're still in school. And because I had a friend who was working there, they had customers because they had 0 naira balance. So you could open your account with 5,000 or any amount and go there almost immediately and withdraw, or you just open the bank, minimum deposit was 0. But today, that bank is no longer where they used to be, because probably they were not prepared, just like Nokia. We did nothing wrong, but we ran out of business. Yes, they might not have run out of business, but they are not doing well, as far as I'm concerned. Another example, which also has a lot to do with your vision for the business, where you see yourself. I want to take it into football, for example. For If you are very conversant with football, you have Chelsea Football Club, you have FC Barcelona, and maybe Manchester United. But for Chelsea, which is where I want to draw this example from, Chelsea had an owner by the name Abramovich, a Russian businessman. When that man came and took over Chelsea, one thing was his goal, winning trophies. And he got that. During his era, Chelsea won the World Club Cup, they won the Champions League, they won the FA Cup. Yeah, they won virtually all of the trophies that were available, that they could win. But fast forward, after he was forcefully asked to sell the club because of the Russia and Ukraine war, as a result of the fallout of that war, the new owner who came now, they are more, in quotes, business oriented. They are not trophy oriented. So they are giving the new coach a period to maybe rebuild. Now you could see the difference. They are business owners, out of they are all out to make profit. They are not really, as it were, as things look now, not out to win trophies. So these are some of the things that you put side by side. Okay, what is my goal? If my goal is to win trophy, is my goal is to brag that I'm a CEO? Is my goal to build an empire, a business that will outlive me? Then you begin to talk about having something sustainable. Now, on the final thought, I just have this image or graphic in front of us. First, the statement says, if you want to go fast, go alone. And that is talking about sole proprietorship. Just one man business. But it says, if you want to go far, build structure. Build structure. As a sole proprietor, well, you are permitted to run it alone. But as somebody who wants to go far, who wants to become like a Dangote, who wants to become like a Tony Elumelu, who wants to become like a Jeff Bezos, who wants to become like who again? Put your name. Who wants to become as successful as Adeniro Bamishaye? Who wants to become the next big thing in business? You have to look at building a structure. Is it limited liability you are talking about? Have you even registered the business in the first place? Have you registered your business? Are you visible? Are you making use of social media? Are you bringing AI into your business? Or you are still showing that, yes, you have the power, you have the capacity to do it. AI has been brought or has been invented to help us and not to replace us as human beings. Are you in partnership? Is it partnership? Even in partnership, there should be structure. There should be structure. So if you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, build structure. Build structure. So let me just say at that point that I am so grateful for your attention. And if you have maybe questions, let's have one or two. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeniran Bamishaye. That was so powerful. That was insightful. Please, let's appreciate Mr. Adeniran in the comment box. Let's do that very quickly for the insightful session and for also reminding us of the importance of putting the right structure in place so that our business can scale smoothly and efficiently. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Adi also highlighted the importance of the legal aspect of business. And this actually ties in with my plan to invite a lawyer friend next month to speak to our community members. So, yes, she'll be coming on board to share valuable insights on how to navigate legal complexities in business. So, thank you so much, Mr. Adenira. And I also like the fact that you talked about having a clear vision and mission for your business. I think I've been saying this and I've been hammering on it for the longest time, and just to say that it's the foundational level shouldn't be overlooked, right? And we also talked about the importance of delegating and reviewing our businesses regularly. When you get to review, you are able to identify areas that you need to improve. You also get to discover what your business lacks, and then you get to recognize what you're doing well. So, yes, thank you so much, sir. As in, I really learned a lot. I learned a lot, and I trust we all gained so much more too. Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Ade. And so if you are in the meeting room today, and you are not yet a member of the Business Force Group, I would like to encourage you to join us, right? This is a growing platform that is dedicated to equip entrepreneurs with the right knowledge and resources that they need to grow and expand their businesses, okay? And this session was proudly sponsored by the Business Force Group. So yes, please, would love to have you in our community. You can just reach out to the person that sent the invite to you, ask them how you can join the group, and you will be a part of the community in no time. Okay? Yeah, thank you so much. Do we have any questions for him, or we are good to go? Okay, we have a question.
Yeah, I think the person says that's don't want Israel. Says as starters in business, how careful can one be to avoid costly mistakes, especially in staffing process?
Okay.
Let see. Number one is certain mistakes, they are almost unavoidable, uh, especially when it comes to staffing. But one of the things that from experience that I've learned is uh to manage it, to manage it. You number one of the things you can do is probably put them on probation for a period. Uh, let there be incentives. Then while recruiting, also ensure you guide and protect yourself. And one of the ways you can do that is ensure they have guarantors. Ensure they have guarantors. Collect as many or as every important details as possible about their guarantors and do their background check. This is very important. Do the background check because I've helped a few people to recruit. And one of the things we always do is each time they submit the form of their guarantor, apart from calling, we visit to ensure that the guarantor stays where they claim to stay. Two, we invite the guarantors to come with the prospective employee. Also, another thing you can do is in the meantime, you could look at having a core member. Yes, they are short term, maybe 1 year, maybe 6, maybe 8 months, you know. But these are some of the things that you can do. Then, like I said, let there be documents that can help you, that can guide you, because you may not be able to really tell, especially when you now need to bring somebody into your finances, or when you now need to give somebody your key. Maybe you sell stuffs, for example, and you need to give the person key because they need to get to the office early enough. You know, that is also very important. You need to have they need to have traceable addresses. For example, do you know that when you are opening your bank account, you put down your home address, you put down your They ask for your utility bills. Why do you think they ask for those things? They come to do background check. So why will you are keeping your money with them, oh, but they still come. Even when you are registering your business with CAC or whatever, they still come, they do their background check. You know, all of those things are very, very important. Then, as much as possible, try and replicate yourself. While you are replicating yourself, you're also becoming a better person. For I used the example of football club. One of the things that a coach does whenever they get to a club is to sell their philosophy, sell their ideology to to the team, to the players, and win them over. So be friends with your staff too. Befriend them. Don't don't boss over them. Don't lord it over them. You understand? I believe those things will help. I hope I was able to speak to your question, Israel.
I think so. I think you actually nailed it. Thank you so much, sir. Israel, I hope you're satisfied with his response. And do we have any more questions? Okay, Israel is fine. Thank you so much. So are we good to go, or do we have any questions? Okay, I think we are good to go. So yes, thank you so much, Mr. Adeniran, once again. And thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful night rest. Bye.